In the previous video, we saw how to create a web page and we created a web page for dinosaur. In this video, I'll show you how to create an animal book. So before we start creating, let me show you how my animal book looks like. So this is the animal book that we are going to create. I can enter an animal name here. Say I enter tiger and click submit button. It takes me to the web page for tiger. Now I can go back and give another animal, elephant. It takes me to the page for elephant. Let me show you how to create this. So we are going to write the code here. Here I already have the web page for dinosaur, elephant and tiger, and also I have the corresponding CSS file. So this is the CSS file that I have used in all these pages. We can now create a new file called index.html, which will be the cover page for our animal book. So I'll create a new file and here I'll write the HTML code for my cover page. So in my head, I'll give a title. I'll give a title as animal book. And in the body section, let me give a heading. I'll give a H1 heading, animal book. Now let me style my web page. I'm not going to disturb the existing CSS file I have. Instead, I'll add a new CSS file called style.css. And I'll link the CSS file to my index.html. So link, the relation is style sheet and href is style.html. Sorry, style.css. Now in my style.css, let me change the background color of this web page. So I'll change the background color of the whole body of HTML. To light green. And also I'll increase the font size of my H1. So H1, I'll change the font size as 2.5 em and align it to the center. So text align center, and also I'll leave a space at the top. So I'll give my margin top as 50 pixel. This will push my heading down the web page. Now we need to add a input box wherein the user can give the animal name, and we also need a button. So when you need to collect some input from the user, you can use HTML forms for that. I'll start my HTML form with the form tag, and within the form you can give all the input elements that you need. First I'll give a label, and my label says enter the animal name to search for it, and I'll also have a input text box. So to provide a text box, we have an input tag and we need to specify the type of input. Your input can be a text box or a radio or a checkbox. So here we are going to use text, which is also the default type for input. And I'll also give an ID, and my ID name will be animal name. Animal name. Now we'll also need a button, and we are going to use a submit button. So type equal to submit, and I'll give a text or a label for the button that will be submit. So we have a button here. Now let's add some styling to this form elements. So in our CSS, in my h1 tag, I'll also add a margin to the bottom. I'll give it as 100 pixel. So my form is pushed down. Now let me increase the font size of my label. I'll change it to 1.25 em. And I'll also increase the font size of my button. My tag is button. Font size I'll change to 1.25 em. And I'll change the background color of button to light gray and border as none. My text box is still looking small, so I'll change the styling of my text box as well. Here I'll use the ID of my text box. So my text box has ID animal name and change the font size to 1.2 em. Now let me align the form elements to the center. So in my form, I'll do text align center. So we have created our index page.